Hello and welcome. My name is Phaedra Charlton, and I am the Director of Communications and Marketing for the World Ovarian Cancer Coalition. I'm excited to be here today to talk all things World Ovarian Cancer Day and share with you some of the memories, examples of good practice, highlights from this past year, and most of all, plans for next year. It is hard to believe that in 2022, we will acknowledge the 10th World Ovarian Cancer Day. What began as a modest movement championed by a small group of patient advocates has now blossomed into a truly worldwide crusade against this disease. Since that first World Day, truthfully well before, our agency partner HAF2 has been with us on this path, helping us to create the foundation of this campaign. Their guidance and support have gone well beyond the agency client norm. They have been our fellow travelers and friends on this journey since 2012. We thought it'd be fun to take a look back 10 years to see where they started with us.
I thought that we could really use our strength in design and communication to help further the messaging that needs to go out on a global scale.
The idea of a World Ovarian Cancer Day is remarkable.
With a focused message and one day, we can really get the attention of media through social media, through traditional media.
And if there's a concerted effort amongst cultures and countries, I think it enhances the potential for it to have the kind of impact that's needed.
This one precedent of a specific day, I think will help everyone to focus on that message.
If we can establish a logo or a brand or both in people's minds, then we're well on the way to having them understand the importance of being more aware of this disease and what it might mean in their life.
Color has meaning, it has an emotional connection, it also can resonate with who we want to talk to in a way that words can't.
The more simple often the shape, or the more memorable the shape, I think the better it works.
A simple graphic can really speak all language. It's a universal language.
Success starts with one person.
The biggest success would be to be able to turn to any woman in the street and say, "Have you heard of ovarian cancer?" And her reply would be, "Yes, I have."
Being able to diagnose it, know what the symptoms are, be aware, I think is really important, and it makes me happy to be able to help.
We can create an icon and a graphic that will speak to not only the healthcare professional, the woman who has been diagnosed, and the families.
It's important that the World Ovarian Cancer Day happen. It happened now because it's our time. I go back to breast cancer 15 years ago and think of where they've come. That's where we are now, and then I say, join us because we can get there too.
Last year at this time, when thinking about the upcoming campaign, we decided to dream even bigger than we did before. We set a bold target, a number so high, some thought we were setting ourselves up for failure, but we went ahead with it anyway. Our goal was to directly reach 5 million people, and from the start, we weren't shy about telling anyone and everyone about it. With our agency partner by our side, we developed the theme, tools, and artwork to help get us there. And by the time the dust settled on May 8th, we directly reached over 18 million people around the world. But it was the indirect reach through your on-the-ground campaigns and efforts that truly took our breath away. Thanks to your hard work, your imagination, your dedication, even in the face of this global pandemic, over 100 million people were reached. This collective global effort proved to us that while the coalition's responsibility is to set the stage for World Ovarian Cancer Day, the magic happens with you. And we took that to heart as we started planning next year, this past summer. Before we reveal what we have in store for 2022, we wanted to feature two of our partners who last year created great campaigns, even in the middle of this global pandemic. And then we will give some other highlights from 2021. At the very end of the session, there will be some time for live Q&A and comments. So a few weeks ago, I spoke with Sharon O'Toole from Ovacare in Ireland about their campaign. Sharon, it's so nice to have you here today. Maybe you could just start with a brief overview of who you are and what your organization is about.
Yeah, sure. So my name is Sharon O'Toole, and I'm a scientist in Trinity College Dublin, but I also sit on the board of Ovacare, which is an ovarian cancer charity, and I also co-founded the Irish Society for Gynae-Oncology Public and Patient Involvement Group.
So Sharon, when did you start planning your World Ovarian Cancer Day 2021 campaign?
Our 2021 campaign, we usually start just after Christmas. It's kind of a January, you know, back to work. You usually think, okay, we need to start thinking of World Ovarian Cancer Day. So usually we organize a meeting for probably late January, beginning of February to start our planning for World Ovarian Cancer Day.
So Sharon, maybe if you can just talk maybe a bit about the challenges you faced planning the 2021 campaign. Obviously, COVID was still a factor. And were there any other factors that you had to take into consideration when you were planning the campaign?
Yeah, well, I guess even from the 2020 campaign, we had the COVID challenge in that every year in Ireland, we try and organize some face-to-face events, some meetings that ladies can attend or anyone with an interest in ovarian cancer can attend. So automatically, all of those face-to-face events were not going to happen. So we moved to the online platform. And really, I suppose the whole COVID scenario had made people more au fait with online and with Zoom. So for this year in particular, we found that we had a huge uptake of people able to join events, and we organized a webinar for the day, and we had about over 80 attendees for that. So that was a fantastic achievement, you know, and I think the whole COVID episode just made people more au fait with the online platforms. So they were happy to use that.
So you had a Teal Lights campaign as well, didn't you? And you had buildings lit up in Teal across Ireland. So maybe if you can tell us a bit more about that.
Yeah, so I suppose from the start, when I look back, 2013 was our involvement with the very first World Ovarian Cancer Day. And I think we had one building in Ireland that lit up for World Ovarian Cancer Day in Teal. And every year we've tried to add on a few buildings around the country to try and get a spread around the country. And you know, we find with social media, they look really good. The buildings lit up look really good, and they get a lot of traction on social media. So this year we actually had 22 buildings lit up, so which was a fantastic achievement. And you know, we plan to grow on that every year. And we also had a Teal Lights campaign, and this was the brainchild of our Emer Casey Foundation, which is another ovarian cancer charity here in Ireland that funds research and other services. And one of the founders of the Emer Casey Foundation had decided on a Teal Lights campaign, and that was very successful. So she actually made some of the Teal Lights herself and supplied them to various people. And yeah, again, it was a really good campaign for social media. So we found that to be very effective this year.
So Sharon, it sounds like you do a lot of collaborating with your other partners in Ireland. Certainly, you just mentioned the Emer Casey Foundation, and we've seen your work with the Breakthrough Cancer Research. If you just maybe want to talk a bit about the importance of collaboration for World Ovarian Cancer Day.
Yeah, that's a really important factor for us. And you know, I think the very first World Ovarian Cancer Day, we were probably just doing it as Ovacare, which is the ovarian cancer charity, and Trinity College Dublin, because I work in Trinity College. But each year we have grown and grown to increase the number of organizations that are involved. And at the start, it was the ovarian cancer charities, and also our national charities, such as the Irish Cancer Society, Breakthrough Cancer Research, as you mentioned. They all came on board. And each organization brings its own audience with it, you know, so we found this to be very effective. And then we got our National Cancer Control Programme also on board. So having the national charities also gave us, it gave us a lot of traction, within media, within the different stakeholders. So this year we had 28 organizations that came on board. So every year we'll grow a little bit more. And we found what was very good this year as well is a lot of the cancer support charities from around the country got involved, and they had been doing very important work during COVID with their own audience. So with that, they brought that audience to the World Ovarian Cancer Day campaign. So it's really important, the collaboration.
Sharon, what would you consider the successes and the legacy of the 2021 campaign?
Well, I think from this year, I suppose after our campaign in May of this year, we decided to kind of create a network and call ourselves the Irish Network for Gynecological Oncology. So we'll also take part in World Gynae Oncology Day, which is on September the 20th. So we have organizations now that are not just ovarian cancer specific, but are very happy to get involved in the World Ovarian Cancer Day campaign with us. So I think that's a huge, it brings huge success to the group, and just gives us, just even having a title now. Eventually we'll probably create our own little website and a brand, but for now we've just named ourselves the Irish Network for Gynecological Oncology. And I think having, each campaign now we summarize our outputs, so it just helps to get more people on board for the next campaign, that we have something to show them, to say, well, look, this is what we did in 2021 for World Ovarian Cancer Day. So we've been growing every year, slowly, but steadily, and it's been a huge success for us here.
The work you're doing is really inspiring, Sharon, and I was wondering if you had any tips or tricks or any learnings that you could share with everyone else about World Ovarian Cancer Day, but just in general.
Yeah, I think, one of the things that I found, and I think from the start, was to not have it associated with any fundraising for any particular organization. So inviting everyone on board to contribute in whatever way they could. And, it was all about awareness. It wasn't about fundraising for any particular organization. And if we did happen to get funds donated, then we put it towards next year's World Ovarian Cancer Day campaign to make banners or make flyers or whatever we needed. And we were fortunate from your organization that we have all the toolkits to do that. If we wanted to print t-shirts, all of those toolkits are there for us. So I would say that, not having it involved with fundraising is a definite plus, and inviting all the different organizations to take part, and getting your national charities and national organizations to help in whatever way they can. And it doesn't have to be, huge in the first year, but definitely I would recommend, growing slowly every year and having that summary of what you did for the day, so that you can use it for next year's campaign to invite other partners on board.
Thank you so much, Sharon. It was great speaking with you today, and we can't wait to see what you come up with in 2022.
Yes, thank you very much. And thank you for your support for our campaign here in Ireland also.
Our second partner, Loto Onlus, has also been with us since the early days and is also a charter champion for several initiatives that they offer. Like so many of you, they are a passionate group of people, and their enthusiasm transcends all language barriers. Manuela Bignami, their head of operations, prepared this report for us a few weeks ago.
Loto is an association born in 2013 thanks to the initiative of a group of patients and friends with the specific aim to cover an information and awareness gap regarding ovarian cancer. The association is made up of a board of directors and a technical scientific committee, which work together to contribute within their own areas of competence to the dissemination of information to support women affected by ovarian cancer and to sustain scientific research. Our president, Sandra Balboni, is a patient, manager by profession, who decided after the disease to put her skills at the disposal of the pathway to beat this disease. My name is Manuela. I am 56 years old and I have been involved in the organization of Loto since its beginning. Planning for World Ovarian Cancer Day 2021 began in September 2020 on the eve of a very special event, a private audience with the Pope Francis during the 2020 IGCS meeting. We went to Rome with all Loto representatives, and on this occasion we meet up in order to think of a campaign that could have a strong impact. Thanks to the effort of Simona from Loto Center Parma, we managed to get in touch with the well-known Italian actress and presenter, Serena Autieri. Serena Autieri already shared the World Ovarian Cancer Day message on the social media in the past. She was therefore familiar with Loto and World Ovarian Cancer Day. As in the past, the search for a testimonial had not been easy, as many testimonials don't want to get identified with the message regarding a severe disease. It may sound bizarre, but it's true. It's the truth. There was a long phase of consultation to obtain authorization to use the image and the correct date for scheduling the campaign, so that it would not overlap with other activities and contract of the testimonial. The project was then presented to the Mediaset television group thanks to the support of our benefactors, and we focused on a message of general interest to women to check regularly with the gynecologist. The Mediaset group decided to support our project and produced the spot for free. One of the most difficult aspects was agreeing on the message the actress should say. Loto Scientific Committee and the authors of the commercial discussed this for a long time before finding the final formula. Because of the pandemic, the video was not recorded until late spring 2021, so we had a time where we were not sure about its making. The spot was then shared on a social media on World Ovarian Cancer Day by many famous women in various fields, actresses, journalists, presenters, and influencers linked to the Mediaset group, reaching a total audience of over 20 million followers. The television broadcast, over 70 in total, reached an audience of about 30 million viewers. The video is also shown on the internal television of the Gemelli Hospital in Rome, the biggest ovarian cancer center in Italy, and then we are activating the request at other hospitals as well. We then thought to extending the reach of the campaign to other channels and asked for free advertising space in popular women's magazines. We could not use the actress's image. Instead, the opening image of our website was used to have an immediate link to our association. The total readership of the issues was over 5 million. Another channel activated at an early stage to be developed for the coming year was the distribution of the campaign leaflet in pharmacies by our volunteers. This was made possible thanks to the involvement of a number of trade associations representing pharmacies. The difficulty in developing the dissemination plan is that there are more than one category, and there is therefore a risk of not having homogeneous distribution in each territory. We are very happy with the overall impact of the campaign. It was a key objective for us to increase awareness of the disease among as many women as possible. The message we take home from this experience is that to be successful, it's necessary to build an important network of supporters and to work hard on one's identity and credibility, because only together we can. I want to thank Simona. Without her help, all this would not have been possible.
While we only had time to feature 2 of our partners, we have to say that we were so impressed by so many of you. Your day campaigns, creativity, and energy were so inspiring to see as they crossed our feed and made the news. You, our partners, are the not so secret to the day's success, and we want to continue and enhance our support of your efforts during the next campaign. Before we get to the reveal, let's just take a quick look at 2021. Rather than go through all the details of the year, I just want to highlight some of the key elements that we saw carried through to organizations and advocates on the ground. For the past 2 years, we have redoubled our efforts to provide our key messages in as many languages as possible. On Facebook alone, our audience reaches people in over 40 countries and just as many languages, so it is a monumental feat to translate our core content so we can reach them all. With the generous help of our partners and friends, this past year we expanded our database, and we noticed increased engagement and content shares as a result. As Cassandra from Have To will mention in our social media workshop later today and being replayed tomorrow, video content rules social platforms. So we put more emphasis on our video content this past year, which worked really well combined with the increased number of translations. Our do-it-yourself social media post generator was a huge hit with individuals, organizations, and companies. Preloaded with a variety of messages and imagery with the option to personalize even more, this gave our audience a direct and active route into the campaign. They were able to share personal messages of awareness, making their posts relevant to them and their networks. Wherever and however we could, we worked last year to provide the tools, artwork, and support for our supporters to expand their support. Corporate partners and those who asked were given access to the raw working files for the core artwork, and bespoke posts were created by us for those who didn't have access to the necessary software. This resulted in consistent messaging and imagery that helps strengthen the value of the campaign for all of us. All of this combined with your efforts on the ground prove that we are definitely more powerful together. An explosion of reach, a growth of nearly 500%, especially on Twitter, married with above average engagement across all channels, meant that our message meaningfully left a mark on May 8th. It was a watershed moment, one that when we came up for air on May 9th, led us to the question, what next? The past few years have seen the World Ovarian Cancer Coalition develop beyond its day campaign roots. In 2018, we released the Every Woman Study, which to this day remains the single largest study of the experiences of women living with ovarian cancer. From that, we developed our call to action, the Global Ovarian Cancer Charter, which inspired our Summit Series events where we workshopped, explored, and highlighted many of the key issues from around the world. And as you heard about today in the Every Woman Study session, next year we bring our low and middle income edition to the field, where we hope to capture the experiences of women who, for a variety of reasons, have been underserved. Since the formation of the coalition 5 years ago, we have been clear in our vision. A world where every woman with ovarian cancer has the best chance of survival and the best quality of life wherever she may live. Wherever she may live. On our watch, we feel that no woman should be left behind. No Woman Left Behind is, like our Global Ovarian Cancer Charter, a call to action, a rallying cry. No woman, no mother, no sister, no partner, no one born with ovaries, no friend, no aunt, no companion. All should have access to the best possible care. All should benefit from the latest science, and all should have the support they need and in ways that they need it. As I said earlier, we are refocusing our efforts so that in 2022, we're even better at providing you with the tools you need to make your World Ovarian Cancer Day campaign a success. We will certainly be creating and sharing content on our channels, but we will work harder to empower you with more of the tools that worked well for you this past year. Although many of us are in the umpteenth wave of the pandemic, it is still our collective hope that in-person events will fully return next year. Some of you have already been able to start those long missed runs and walks, and I know many want to mark the 10th World Ovarian Cancer Day in person. We know firsthand the organization, the planning, logistics that go into any event, including marketing and promotions, and we have taken that all into consideration. So next year, we will be offering an expanded do-it-yourself section on the day campaign section of our website, which will now include a poster generator so you can print off posters at home. And so many of you have asked for this, and we are excited to announce that as a pilot project, we are setting up an online store through Vistaprint, where you'll be able to purchase at a discount, among other things, t-shirts, water bottles, swag for your volunteers and organization, co-branded posters that can be printed in bulk for promoting events in your area, bumper stickers, banners, and other items will also be able to be ordered. And we just want to emphasize that we will not be making any money or getting any revenues at all from this store. This is simply a tool for you. In a few weeks, our project assistant, Emma Carey, will be in touch with some of you regarding translations. As I mentioned, getting our materials translated into over 40 languages is a Herculean task, and we need your help. While artificial intelligence is fairly good at translating, it is by no means perfect. So Emma will be creating draft translations that will need to be corrected. If you are willing to help, we would love to hear from you, and you can scan the QR code here to start the email to Emma. Because of your boundless energy, enthusiasm, and creativity, there's only so much we can think of on our end, but we want to assure you, I want to assure you that we are here for you. You want to put up posters on the subway system where you live? We can provide the design support. You want to coordinate with other organizations for an international online event? We can help make the connections. Whatever you want or need, we want to hear from you. While we may not be able to do everything, we will do our best so you can do yours. Consider us your partner in your campaigns as we consider you ours in the coalition. When you succeed, we all succeed, and we are committed that no organization should be left behind. Before we open this up for questions, here's my contact information. You can also scan this QR code to send an email to me, and we'd love to hear from you. Comments, suggestions, feedback. If you just want to say hi, we are here, and please do get in touch. So we've had some questions come in during the presentation, and one of them was, how can big organizations and brands get involved in World Ovarian Cancer Day? Like a Revlon Cosmetics or that kind of company, which is a really great question, because we do create an employee engagement tool. We've had some companies in the past, they've had runs, walks, cyclothons, kind of relay races, and actually a relay would be a really good event to fit in with the theme this year, leaving no one behind. So there's things like that that can easily, I say easily, but they can be done. So we have that. You can companies can come to us and we can create co-branded posts. They can share on social media. They can have bake sales. They can have there's really no limit to the imagination, and we are certainly happy to work with anyone to help create an event and help give the assets that you would need. Speaking of help, another question that came in is if we can help with media, with like press releases, imagery, that kind of thing. And certainly we can do that as well. We can create kind of co-branded press releases where it comes from the coalition and from your organization. We've done that for our corporate partners. We've done that for our partner organizations. Very happy to do that. You just need to reach out to us and we can get that started. I'm happy to provide quotes and images as well. So there's lots of things we can do there. Then we had some questions that are more centered around ovarian cancer and really underlie they really stress the reason why we do a lot of awareness raising year round. But one of the most common misconceptions we hear, and we've noticed it in our online quizzes as well, is about the pap smear. And with the great initiative of the WHO, the cervical cancer elimination strategy, there is a lot of confusion around pap smears, which are a fantastic tool to detect cervical cancer. However, they do not detect ovarian cancer. So if you've had a clear pap smear, it doesn't mean you're in the clear, as it were, for ovarian cancer. So then it's really important to pay attention to the signs and symptoms. Until we have an accurate screening test for ovarian cancer, that's really the only tool we have as individuals in our arsenal. So that too can cause some confusion. A lot of people say that the symptoms are vague. They're not really vague. They're just non-specific to ovarian cancer. And really some of them most of them can be attributed to other diseases. They can be attributed to perimenopause. The thing is, if they're persistent. So things like persistent bloating, not bloating that comes and goes, which, most women have, but it's persistent bloating, one that doesn't go away, one that gets worse. If you have difficulty eating all of a sudden, feeling full quickly, those are two other symptoms. Pelvic abdominal pain and urinary symptoms. So if you find you needing to use a washroom more often. So those are the things. And again, as I mentioned in the presentation, we're trying to get these particular symptoms translated into as many languages as possible, because it is kind of like the baseline for awareness. Someone else asked, what do you think makes a successful World Ovarian Cancer Day? Well, it depends where you're starting from. It depends where you are. The biggest thing is to create that conversation. I think, as we saw in the video at the very beginning, if you turn to a woman and you turn to your mother, your sister, your friend, your partner, and ask them if they know about ovarian cancer, and they say yes, then there's been some success. So I think whatever level you start at, if you make incremental change, it's a success. And really, if you're doing your hardest, doing your best, and you have, and I think it's important on that day to have some fun. It is a very serious topic, but have fun and come together as a community and raise awareness and talk to your friends and colleagues. I think that would be a level of success. Another thing that someone asked is how important is family history? That is another post that we do that we're also seeking help with translation on. Family history is quite important, and it's family history on both sides, not just your mother's side. So if you have, your father's side or your mother's side, both, if there's a history of cancer, it is a good idea to let your doctor know. These all kind of fit into everything that you should be talking about with your doctor. And I think the biggest thing is, don't be afraid to go and talk to your doctor. Don't be afraid to listen to your body. Only you know what's best. And I think that's one of the big messages that we do try to get out on World Ovarian Cancer Day and every day, is that you know your body, and you should pay attention to it. So other ways to make the campaign a success, and I'm sure that Cassandra will be talking a bit about it in the social media workshop later on. Hashtags. We always come out with campaign hashtags. As you saw, one of them at the end of the kind of the reveal videos, WOCD 2022. if you use the hashtags, if you tag us in posts, then we can pick them up and reshare it. We can reshare your content, and then your message gets out to our audience as well. So it expands your reach as well. So there's lots of opportunities there. So, so I think we're just about done. If anyone has any questions, again, you can email me. It's Phaedra at worldovariancancercoalition.org. I know my name's a little hard to spell, but that's about it. So I will wish you a good day, and please enjoy the next session on treatment mapping. You'll find that if you click that on to the left on your screen. Thank you.